Good morning everyone. My name is ARJELYN BUENDIA of Side Science 3B. I live in Sagan, Maayan, Capiz. I am the only child of my parents, and I love singing, I love dancing, and I love reading books, especially Wattpad. I love to watch Netflix and other movies related to Katniel. So for today, I will discuss the types of objective tests. So first is, we are concerned with the developing objective test of assessing the attainment of educational based on the taxonomy in this chapter. For these purposes, we restrict our attention to the various types of paper and pencil tests. First, the true or false item. Second, multiple choice item. Third, matching types items, numerations, completions, and lastly, essay. Development of paper and pencil tests requires careful planning and expertise in terms of actual constructions. The more seasoned teachers can produce true or false items that can test a higher order of thinking and skills, not just the rote memory learnings. Essays are easier to construct than the other types of objective tests. The difficulty with which paper and pencil test grades are derived from essay examinations often discourage teachers from using this particular form of examinations and practice. So, 5.2, the planning, a test, and constructions of specifications or TOS. The important steps in planning for a test are, first, identifying the test, objectives, lessons, and outcomes. Second, deciding the type of objective test to be prepared. Third, prepare a table of specifications, constructing the draft of test items. And lastly, try out the validations. Identifying the test objectives is an objective test if it is comprehensive, cover the various levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Each object consists of a statement of what is to be achieved and probably by the students. Example, we can construct a test on a topic, subject-verb agreement in English. For grade 5 class, the following are area of objectives. Knowledge and remembering. The students must be able to identify subject and verb in a given sentence. Comprehension and understanding. The students must be able to determine the appropriate form of a verb to be used in a given the subject of a sentence. Application and applying. The students must be able to write sentence observing the rules on a subject-verb agreement. Analysis or analyzing. The students must be able to break down a given sentence into its subject-predicate. Evaluation and evaluating. The students must be able to evaluate whether or not a sentence observes rules on a subject-verb agreement. Third, synthesis and creating. The subject must be able to formulate rules to be followed regarding subject-verb agreement. Deciding on the type of objective test. The test objectives guide the kind of objective test that will be designed and constructed by the teacher. For instance, for first 4 levels, we may want to construct a multiple choice type of test, while for application and judgment, we may opt to give an essay test or modified essay test. Preparing a table of specification. A table of specification is a test map that guides teachers constructing a test. The TOS ensures that there is a balance between items in the test. Lower level thinking skills choose which test higher order thinking skills, or alternative, a balance between essay and difficult item tests. In the simplest TOS consists of 4 columns. First column's level of objectives to be tested. Second is a statement of objective. Third is a item number where such an objective is being tested. And lastly, a number of items in percentage out of the total of a particular subject and the Constructing the types of test items. The actual constructions of the test items follows by the twos. A general rule is advised that the actual number of items to be constructed in the draft should be double the desired number of items. For instance, if there are 5 knowledge level items to be included in a final test form, then at least 10 knowledge level items should be included in a draft, and subsequent tests, a tryout, and item analysis will most likely eliminate many of the constructed items in the draft, whether they are too difficult, too easy, or too discriminatory. Hence, it was necessary to construct more items that will actually be included in a final test form. Item analysis and tryout. The test draft is tried out to a group of pupils or students. The purposes of this tryout is to determine the item characteristic through item analysis, characteristic of test itself, validity, reliability, and practically. Constructing a true or false test. Binomial choice of alternate response are the tests that have two only options such as true or false, right or wrong, yes or no, and good or better, check or cross out, and so on. A student who knows nothing for the content of the examination will have 50% chance of getting the correct answer by sheer guesswork. Although corrections for guessing formulas exist in the best that the teachers ensures that true or false items is able to discriminate properly between those who know and those who are just guessing. Modified true or false can be offset the effect of guessing by requiring students to explain their answer and to disregard the correct answer if the explanation is incorrect. Here are some rules of thumb in constructions true or false items. Rule number 1. Do not give a hint or inadvertently in the body of the questions. For example, the Philippines gained its independence in 1891 and therefore celebrated its centennial year in 2000. Obviously, the answer is false because 100 years from now is not 2000 but 1989. Rule number 2. Avoid using words always and never, often, and other words that tend to be either always true or always fake. For example, Christmas always falls on a Sunday because it's a Sabbath day. Statement that is used the word always are always fake. A test-wise student can easily guess his way through his get score and even if he doesn't know anything about the test. Rule number 3. Avoid long sentence as if these tend to be true. Keep a sentence short. For example, tests need to be valid, reliable, and useful, although it would require a great amount of time, effort to ensure tests possess test characteristics blank. The notice is that the statement is true, however, they are not sure which part of the sentence is deemed true by the student. It is just fortunate in this case. All parts of the sentence are true and the entire sentence is true. Following example illustrate what cause go wrong in a long sentence. Rule number 4. Avoid track statements with some minor misleading word or spelling anomaly, misplaced phrases, etc. A wise student who does not know the subject matter may detect this strategy and thus get the answer correctly. Example, the Raven was written by Edgar Allan Poe. Allen is misspelled and the answer would be false. It is an example of a tricky but utterly useless item. Rule number 5. Avoid quoting by breaking from reference materials or textbook. This practice sends the wrong signal to the students that is necessary to memorize the textbook word from word and thus accusations of a higher level thinking skill is not given due to importance. Rule number 6. Avoid specific determiners or giveaway qualifiers. Some students quickly learn that strongly worded statements are more likely to be false than true. For example, statements with never, no, all, or always. Moderately worded statements are more likely to be true than false. Statement that shows moderately word use many, often, sometimes, generally, frequent, or some should be avoided, and etc. Executive usually stopper by hypothetical statement tends to be correct, and the word usually leads to the answer. Rule number 7. With true or false questions, avoid grossly disproportionate number. It's either true or false statement, or even the patterns in the occurrence a true or false statement. Like for number 1, TFFFFFF hasta sa number 8 and 10. So it falls with a pattern. For ease of corrections, teachers sometimes create a pattern with a true or false answer. Students will hence may arrive at the correct answer not because she really knows the answer, but because she or she sensed the pattern. That's all for my report. Thank you.